Well, in this slide, you can see one outline sample. Look, this is an outline of an essay that talks about uh, this topic, how Instagram affects mental health. This is the topic. That means this is the outline of an essay on this topic. And you can see first we have the introduction, and in the introduction we have the thesis, which is the most important sentence that expresses the whole idea of, let's say, the text. The thesis is this: excessive Instagram use has a negative impact on mental health. So, based on this thesis, we realize that the information in this text, in this essay, is going to be about the bad effects of Instagram on our mental health. So, in order to show these negative impacts of Instagram on mental health, we need here, of course, we have, let's say, 3 body paragraphs. In each body paragraph, we talk about one aspect of, let's say, these negative effects. In the first, let's say, body paragraph, as you can see here, we have the topic sentence: Instagram sets unrealistic expectations that trigger self-esteem issues. This is about, in the first body paragraph, as you can see, we're going to read about unrealistic expectations. That is one, let's say, bad effects of Instagram on mental health. And to explain it more, to prove it more, let's say we have 2 important details, detail 1 and detail 2. We have also another body paragraph that is, let's say, this is the topic sentence: excessive Instagram use results in sleep deprivation. This is another negative effect. And we have again other details. The details have been mentioned. And the third body paragraph has this topic sentence: Instagram disconnects users from the real world. And we also have the important details of the paragraph, as you can see here. So these are the sentences that have been selected. These are the sentences that give us the most important information of the essay. We write them down. So this is let's say, a kind of outline in which we have complete sentences. These sentences can be either the exact sentences of the text that we have taken from the text itself, or it's even possible, based on the information that we read in each body paragraph, we can write our own sentences. So we can write them down. So this is one outline sample that is in the form of sentences. Look at this sample. This is sample number 2. Here you can see we have only words and phrases rather than complete sentences, because as I told you before, there are 2 types of outlines. 1, outlines in which we have complete sentences, and 2, outlines in which we have only words and phrases. Then you can choose either, depending on the information. The second form, which is this, an outline in which we have only words and phrases, could be better for you when you are presenting a lecture, because you have already, let's say, studied and read all the sentences, all the information, all the body paragraphs. You know the information, and then here you have only words to help you remember that these are the things you are going to explain and you are going to talk about. So you see, in the introduction, for the thesis statement, we have only a difficult transition. In the first body paragraph, we have school experiences versus working world. Well, of course, you may not be able to understand this outline very well, because this is an outline of a text that you have not read. It's, this is for a person who has already read it. So for the first body paragraph, we have the important details that are about school patterns and work norms. Then we have another important detail that is about school experiences and working world, that is advancing and promotion. And as you can see here, we have another body paragraph that is about mental status, that is analytical thinking. And in this body paragraph, we also have 3 other important, let's say, details: 1, school policy, work policy, and 2, suggested changes in school policies. So this is another example of an outline. You can choose either of the outline types, either the sentences. Probably the first type of outline in which we have complete sentences, that kind of outline could be better when you are, let's say, making an outline in order to have a review of something later. Like, for example, when you study your own academic books, You may want to summarize each chapter in the form of sentences, so later you can read the sentences to have a review. And the second, in my opinion, the second type of outline in which we have only words and phrases can be suitable for when you are, let's say, preparing a presentation, when you are presenting, let's say, preparing a lecture. Well, the second part that we are, let's say, going to talk about is signposting. We need to know first what signposting is. As you can see here, we say signposting is a good way to make your presentations effective, interesting, and easy to follow. Look, signposts are words that can help the audience, that can help, let's say, the people who are listening to your lecture to follow, to understand your ideas better. It can help them to be able to make connections. Very simply, signposts or signposting language generally are the words that we use in order to, let's say, show the connection between what has already been said and what is going to be said. Let me give you one simple example. You say, in this lecture, I am going to talk about this. The same, this thing that you're saying, I am going to talk about this, makes it easy for let's say, the audience to understand what the topic of your presentation is. And then you may want to talk about, for example, many different reasons for a certain issue. When you say, first of all, first of all means now I am talking about the first reason. When you say second, that means you are done with the first reason and now you are introducing the second reason. So these are simple examples for you to know what, let's say, signposts are. As you can see, we say, in other words, signpost language guides the listener through the presentation. A good presenter will usually use a lot of signpost language, so it is a good idea to learn a few of the common phrases. Now, we are going to, let's say, have examples, as you can see here. These are all examples of signpost language. For example, when you are trying to introduce a topic, you can use any of these phrases. You can say, the subject or the topic of my talk is, or you can say, I'm going to talk about, or my topic today is, or anything else. Something that, let's say, makes it clear to the audience what exactly you are talking about. That makes it clear, let's say, in writing, we can see, for example, different paragraphs. Different paragraphs tell us that, for example, each paragraph is focusing on a certain topic. But we do not have paragraphs in speaking. How can we make this, let's say, division clear? How can we make it clear to the audience that, for example, the thing about this topic is over, now I'm going to talk about another topic. So this is the signpost language that can help us, that can help the audience, the listener, to understand, for example, that we are done with one certain aspect or one certain topic, and now we're going to talk about another aspect or another topic, or we're going to, for example, talk about another reason. This is the signpost language that can help us. When you're talking about an overview, let's say, for example, a general idea, like, for example, a thesis statement, this, for example, can be the language you can use. I'm going to divide this talk into 4 parts. Look, when you say I'm going to divide this talk into 4 parts, that means you are giving a clear organization to your listeners so they can understand it better. There are many other examples. Study them for yourself and try to use them when you present a lecture. Whenever you're going to give a lecture about anything, we have, for example, finishing a section. Once you're done with one section and you're going to talk about another one, you said, for example, that's all I have to say about. Well, we have starting a new section, analyzing a point and giving recommendations, giving examples, and finally summarizing and concluding, paraphrasing and clarifying, and invitation to discuss or ask questions, which is at the end of your lecture, when you, for example, invite the audience to ask you questions to see if there's anything they may need, for example, more explanations or clarifications with. So that's all about the materials for this week. Thank you very much.